A Florida man is wanted for stealing over $4,000 of Oil of Olay. A Florida man is accused of cutting off the power to a liquor store that refused to sell him booze. A Florida man and woman were arrested for counterfeiting dollars in a dollar store. And nudity is not illegal in national parks in the U.S. But don't do anything weird. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet, and the only daily weird news podcast that does Florida Fridays. That's right, all the weird news from this week out of the state of Florida. And today's a very special episode because I have a very special announcement that I will tell you in the outro. Hang on, it's Florida time. A Florida man is wanted for stealing over $4,000 worth of Oil of Olay from Walgreens. That's a lifetime worth of lube, it sounds like. Although for a Florida man, it just might be a weekend's worth. He also stole $2,000 worth of tissues. It doesn't say that, but I imagine he did. With all that Oil of Olay, bro, you're going to need some tissues or paper towels. Although, I mean, assuming that Florida men use tissues afterward is assuming a little too much, I think. Like a Florida man doesn't give a damn. They just wipe it on an iguana and go about their life. So a Florida man is wanted for stealing $4,300 worth of Oil of Olay during a recent stop at Walgreens. That's a lot of Oil of Olay. That's how do you get away with so much? It just seems like you'd have to get a large cart to hold all the Oil of Olay. You just somehow snuck it out the store. I don't think you could put $4,000 worth of Oil of Olay in your pants. Could you? Let's get some more information. Dare we? The deputies say on Sunday, a male suspect walked into the Walgreens on Canner Highway and walked out with more than $4,300 in Oil of Olay products. The suspect entered the store wearing a facial mask, carrying a backpack. He then walked into the cosmetic section and stashed the Oil of Olay products inside the backpack. When the backpack became too full, he stole a laundry bag from the next aisle and began filling that with Oil of Olay products as well. He's like, man, they got a lot more Oil of Olay here than I thought. I'm going to need another satchel of some sort. I'm going to need another theft accoutrement. Grabs a laundry bag. So brazen, sir. He casually walked out with the stolen products, drove away in a black Infiniti SUV. Sounds like a nice vehicle. The thief is described as a white male with a thin build and a long brown shoulder-length hair. If you have any information about the Oil of Olay bandits, please call Detective Matthew at 772-220-7148. I think we can leave it up to Pornhub to find this guy, right? He's going right to Pornhub after this, I assume. I mean, he's either going to use it to wank or there is an off chance that he's got very dry skin. I don't know how you have dry skin in Florida, a place that's perpetually wet. It's disgusting. A Florida man, after being refused liquor, cut off the power. A Florida man faces charges of vandalism and public intoxication after the police say he cut the power to a liquor store that refused to sell him booze. I love it. This guy is like, you know what? I'm going to go. You're really going to say no to me? You're not going to allow me to buy this bottle? All right. You're going to regret it, bro. Say goodbye to that lit up sign outside. No one's going to know you're even open. The officers responded to University Liquors and Fine Wines. The fine wines, sure. After the business lost power, they called the police. We lost power. The caller told the investigators that the power went out in the building, and when he went outside to see what was going on, he saw a man tampering with the electrical box, who then took off running. I just think this is amazing. Who would think to do this? I mean, you know, they don't sell you alcohol. You think of maybe making a scene, maybe knocking over some things, breaking something inside the store. We're all familiar with these common stories. You don't think that someone would go outside and go to your electrical box and cut off your electricity. You see him out there sawing off the nearby electrical pole. Okay, so the officers reported to the electrical box as it was busted and it was sending out sparks. The suspect is 44-year-old Charles Marion Fields, who probably has a background in electrical work, I'd imagine. He was seen walking by the business just minutes later. The caller then confronted Fields, telling him he was not leaving until the police arrived. So, but this guy just kept walking around the store after he cut the power off. Is he okay? Charlie Fields. Fields refused to stay. No, I'm not staying. I'm going to continue strolling away. You'll never catch me. He reportedly hit the caller. He hit the guy during the altercation. Fields continued to try and fight the person who called the police on him, named Morton, and flee the scene before the police arrived. Officers arrived shortly after and were told that Fields was refused service from the liquor store earlier in the day for being intoxicated. You got to be really intoxicated for a liquor store in Florida to refuse to sell you liquor. Imagine. You got to really be out of your tree drunk. Fields smelled strongly of alcohol, it says, and had slurred speech. He admitted to have been drinking for a while, since 1989. A witness verified that Fields was the one who had vandalized the building. He was taken into custody after being deemed a danger to himself and others. Yeah, anyone who has electricity, he's a danger to. Now, after assessing the damages to the liquor store, they realized the electric meter was missing. The meter was later found in a parking lot. He just yanked out the meter and chucked it into the parking lot. That's unbelievable, man. You could have just tried another liquor store. Eventually, someone's going to sell to you. It's Florida. No one gives a damn, really. A Florida man and Florida woman were arrested for using counterfeit money at a Dollar General store. A Florida man and a lady were arrested after using some counterfeit money that they manufactured themselves. They tried to pass it off at a Dollar General store. The investigation began last week when the Sumter County Sheriff's Office took a call from a Dollar General store. The store clerk said a man and a woman, identified as 57-year-old James Lacey and 30-year-old Bianca DeHart, tried to pay for items in the Dollar General with some counterfeit bills. According to the sheriff's office, the clerk said that Lacey claimed he received this fake money from a motel. Strange. The deputy continued her investigation into this and followed up with the motel that Lacey claimed he got the counterfeit money from. Turns out none of them ever stayed at the motel. The hotel couldn't confirm they'd ever seen these people in their life. Later, the same deputy, while en route patrolling, saw a white pickup truck driven by Lacey fail to stop at a sign, resulting in a traffic stop. The deputy immediately recognized Lacey as the guy who was at the Dollar General store attempting to pass off counterfeit money earlier. This guy's just breaking laws all over town. Doesn't give a damn. Sir, you just drove through a stop sign. Well, no, that's a counterfeit stop sign. You don't got to drive through counterfeit stop signs. But my money's not counterfeit. My money's legit. I got it at the motel. Who gets some cash from a motel? By the way, the deputy ran Lacey's information and discovered he had an active warrant. No way! You pulled over a guy in Florida, has an active warrant? Stop it. I don't believe that at all for one minute. These guys are upstanding citizens. They support local businesses like the dollar store. Okay, so he had an active warrant from the U.S. Marshals for failing to appear on a probation violation for passing counterfeit notes previously. This guy's just passing notes all over the place. I'm curious as to why you would attempt to pass off counterfeit notes at a dollar store. You know? I mean, you're not going to be able to unload that many at the dollar store. Nobody's dropping $1,000 at the dollar store. Last I checked, maybe you spend $100, maybe. $1,000 buys you the whole store, so you can't just walk in and buy the whole store with your counterfeit money. You got to pass off counterfeit bills at a place that has higher priced items. It would seem to me like a liquor store is a perfect place. Something like that. If they don't accept your counterfeit bills, you can just cut off their water or something. That's a callback to a previous story. Pretty poor callback. I'm trying, though. I just can't wrap my head around why you try to pass off bills at a dollar store. They don't even take anything larger than a 20 anyways. Okay, so we got some more information. Some other stuff happened. The deputy walked a certified narcotics canine around Lacey's pickup truck after the failure to stop, which resulted in a positive alert. Surprise. The occupants of the truck were removed from the vehicle, and a search was conducted. During the search, they found a computer printer behind the passenger side seat and various $20 notes that appeared to be counterfeit. He used the computer printer? Oh, man, I wish there was a photo of these bills. They got to be terrible, man. You're just printing out what looks like Monopoly money or the Game of Life bills with the computer printer, and it's in your truck. Wow. I mean, the levels of dumb, just unbelievable. You're breaking dumb records here, bro. That's hard to do in the state of Florida. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Nudity is not illegal in national parks in the U.S., but please don't do anything weird, guys. Nature is glorious. It can make us feel a whole lot of different ways. Sometimes nature's splendor makes us want to charge all the way up a mountainside and breathe that fresh air. Maybe you yodel on the side of a mountain. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Sometimes nature makes us want to break out our dance moves on a beach at sunset. Or strip down to our birthday suits and skip through a field of wildflowers. Yes, like it's the summer of love. Take off all your clothes and run through some wildflowers after eating some lovely mushrooms. Just kidding. We don't condone eating mushrooms. Hey, but what happens when our deepest instinct is to strip down naked, to take in a primeval forest or a spectacular mountain vista view in a place where a lot of other people are definitely going to be around to see this, such as a national park, for instance? Turns out you wouldn't be the first person ever to have that impulse. But like so many other impulses, it's important to know whether it's legal. Is it or is it not legal to get down to your birthday suit in a national park? Now, I chose this story because it has a lot of ties to Florida. It's about taking off your clothes in public. You'd be surprised to learn there's not much federal prohibition around this naked rule. Federal law pretty stubbornly ignores the issue of public nudity in all national parks, with one exception, the Cape Cod National Seashore, where you must keep your genitals completely covered always. Just one national park in our country has a nudity rule? That's pretty silly. None of the bus stops in Florida have this rule. I'll say that right now. Neither do the Chick-fil-A lobbies. So it says back in the 80s and 90s, nudity was a really big issue at Cape Cod National Seashore, says some guy named Robert, who was a retired park ranger of 32 years in various parks. Now, he said they had to make a rule about it in this one park because it's right on the beach, and there were a bunch of nude bathers. So they had to put a stop to that. Hey, you can't be bathing nude in the U.S. For some reason. You can whip out your gun, but you can't whip out your titty on a beach in the U.S. Very strange. It's a sign of cultural immaturity. But let's move on. Now, this park ranger says there's actually no federal regulation that prohibits nudity in all the other national parks. Disorderly conduct doesn't really apply either, but there are different jurisdictions within the National Park Service. Some parks are run exclusively under federal jurisdiction, while others are concurrent jurisdiction, which means if someone is strolling down the beach naked in a state where there is a law against public nudity, the park might have adopted the law, and a ranger would have every right to fine or jail that naked beach walker. But although it seems there might be a cultural bias against public nudity and the national splendor of national parks, there is actually a very deep tradition of bearing it all in national parks that continues to this day. And I've seen many people on Instagram taking photos in national parks with their bare booty hanging out. Seems like a thing to do. Sometimes it's a group of lady hikers. And it seems like an enjoyable experience to witness. Hey, man, we actually came into nature naked Why not occasionally get into nature naked? I say, does that make any sense? Our country has a history of famous people getting naked in the woods. Our President Teddy Roosevelt and his best buddy, a first Forest Service Chief Gifford Pinchot, regularly skinny dipped in the rivers and streams all over the parks, once even taking the French ambassador for a swim in Rock Creek Park, which is managed by the National Park Service as well. And these days, Hike Naked Day is a way that hikers celebrate the summer solstice on the Appalachian Trail as well, which is managed by the National Park Service. And you can view those with an Instagram hashtag, Hike Naked Day. So yes, we have a long history of getting naked in our country's glorious national parks. And in most of them, you can do so without any repercussions. It's just nice to know what you have to be prepared for if you're taking the kids out on a hike or whatever. In other words, it's not just the state of Florida where you might run into a naked man scratching his butt sack. Butt sack? Yeah, I just made that up. Hey, my fellow weirdos. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Florida Friday on Weird AF News. Thank you for sending me Florida articles. I appreciate that. Way to think of me and drop me some links the past couple days. Got a lot of Florida stories from my wonderful, loyal listeners, and that made my job a little easier. And now I have a huge announcement that I alluded to earlier, and you may be happy to hear or maybe unhappy to hear that your host, Jonesy, is moving to Florida. Yes, big announcement. I am moving to Florida. I'm leaving Los Angeles. I've been priced out. The rent is just too damn high. I'm going to be going to a place called Naples. I never thought I would move to Florida, but you can't deny those rent prices. Don't have to pay state taxes. It's a little trade-off for the dangers of Florida. I'm gonna have to obviously find a new closet over there. But the place I'm moving into has a very spacious closet. I already saw pictures. And I got a friend over there that checked it out for me as well. So it looks like I'm going to be able to move the closet from Los Angeles to sunny Florida, Naples. It's going to be right on the Gulf of Mexico. It's in the southwest of Florida. And it's a lot of golf courses down there. And I'm not really into golf, but they got a pier, which is pretty cool. You know, there's a lot of fishing going on. And there's a lot of beaches and calm waters. And they got a really nice, some of these beaches, I've seen the photos, man. Fine white sand. Unbelievable white sand. Yeah. You just got to watch out for the needles. You know, you just got to walk around the needles. But sometimes needles are white or clear. It's going to be hard to spot them in a white sand beach, but we'll work with what we got, guys. So, yeah, I figured why not announce it on a Florida Friday episode? It seems appropriate that Jonesy's moving to Florida. Never thought I would do so. And if you'd like to support me, because, you know, it's going to be a tough lifestyle over there, I'd imagine, on some level. So you can support me in the show. Help me with my move by going to patreon.com/weirdafnews and supporting the show that way. It's a sign that you really, love what I'm doing here. A 5-day-a-week weird news podcast, unlike no other. I don't think anybody's doing this. So, and I hope you get something out of it. I hope I'm making your day better. I think I am. You know what makes my day better is when I get calls from the angry Floridaman, which I am now going to post after this. So you're going to hear from the angry Floridaman. And I just want to let you know that I hope you guys are having a nice weekend, or you had one, or you're about to have one. I'd love to lead you into the weekend with the Florida Friday stories. I think it's a nice way to do it. Get a few laughs here and there. And just make you feel good all around. It's hard to do in this world. We do our best, guys. Anyways, hit me up, 646-450-2012. You can email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. Check out weirdafnews.com. You can do a lot of stuff over there. And now for the angry Florida man. Have a great weekend.
All right, Jonesy, first off, let me just tell you, I'm about a week back, man. I'm a week back on the episodes here because, like I tell my boss, man, I lost my phone charger. All right, man, I was using it as a belt. When in doubt, use the phone charger. All right, I used both my boss's belt. Well, my boss's phone charger and my phone charger as a belt. Because Look, man, it's a long story, so let me just tell you this. I'm about a week. I'm about a week behind on the stories here, and I understand that there's a man. I forgot what was his name. Benjamin? No, not Ben. Well, we'll call him Benjamin. Benjamin, the dig a hole in the roof of your building, climb down and steal all your left shoes guy. It was on last week. Man. I mean, this is Florida, man. I mean, maybe he knows one of them people got 1 foot bigger than the other, and they buy a pair, and he's just like, look, I'll just get the left foot. But that don't really make sense because there's a whole bunch of different sizes. Anyway, Jonesy, I'll get back to you. Oh, congratulations, Jonesy. 2 million downloads. In all sincerity, that is amazing. 4 years and 2 million downloads. Oh, hell. Cooter, get off that bike! All right, man, I gotta go. Cooter's out front. He's whipping up and down the street on his Yamaha KY80, whatever the hell it is. He got a flat, man. All right, I gotta go. But anyway, Jonesy, congratulations. All right, I understand if you don't play that last one, man, because no, man, I am the Florida man, and I do not break the fourth wall, Jonesy. I keep it close to the vest. I play my Uno cards close. I wear them under my sunglasses, because I mean it's sunny, man. It's Florida, right? And I heard that there's a man, and I didn't get to finish listening to the episode because I go back and forth, man. I go back and forth between the episode and sending you this fine play by play. And there's a man going around taking names, right? And he's pointing out that he's been throwing scooters into the Tampa Bay. Now that's just terrible, man. Because Hulk Hogan lives around there, and he don't want no damn scooters in the bay. You know what I mean? He'll come around like when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. You know what I mean? You got to be a man. You got to Anyway, there it is again. Oh, Jonesy, as you know, I am a man of travel. And I get behind the wheel, and when I'm sober, and I travel, man. And I've been up to your part of the neck of the woods up there where the snow falls for 13 months out of the year. And I've seen one of these there scorpion bowls you talk of, and I can remember being up there with a couple of fellas that may not have had what you call a valid form of identification that would prove that they were of the age. And we bought a few scorpion bowls, and we give them an extra long straw, and they'd sit next to us, and they'd sip from them scorpion bowls. And they got a little goofy one time, right? You start drinking from that middle part of that volcano with the 151. Hoo-wee, man, you get tipsy. Anyway, they got a little squirrely, and apparently they got a really long straw, and they started to go over to other people's tables and started when they would, anyway, Jonesy, sometimes stories, they go nowhere, and if you don't have context, you don't, anyway. Wow, man, that is just crackers, Jonesy. I can't believe there are people who put pulsators inside gas pumps. I mean, that's just wild, man. Bringing the price of gasoline down to pennies on the pound. That's pretty good. I mean, the only pulsator I know about is the lady upstairs. She got herself a pulsator. Keeps a smile on her face. You know what I'm saying? Hey, zing! I figured it out, Jonesy. This fella, he's a young man. He's like 20. He watched a lot of Baywatch, like on Me TV, or whatever channel. You got a streaming service. It still shows Baywatch. They got what you call their the jet skis. You know what I mean? And that's what I call them because I'm an educated man, and I know what a jet ski is. I know from personal. I've tried to drive a scooter into the water and think I was just going to jet ski with it. It don't work. Talking from a man with experience. So maybe, just maybe. I mean, excuses are just like elbows. People have more than one, right? Usually. Anyway, I think they were just trying to get a jet ski going, Wow, I wrapped that one up kind of quick. All right, put a bow on it.